Hello, today I'll be talking to you about free software and privacy. We will begin by a brief introduction, then we'll cover how free apps make money and generate revenue. Then we'll look at Google as a case and example. Then we'll look at the key takeaways, what we can actually do with this information, and we'll wrap up with a brief conclusion. So, according to BankMyCell, a site that compiles many mobile user statistics, 7.33 billion people have a smartphone. That's almost 91% of the entire human population. And according to Zippia, in America, the average person has 80 apps downloaded. These statistics are not that surprising if you really think about it. If you want to talk to your friends, there are all the social media apps are free. If you want to kill some time and play a game on your phone, there's countless free apps, free games you can download right now. If you don't have a scanner but you need to send a document to your boss really quickly, there's a free app for that as well. It's so easy and convenient. If you can think about it, there's probably an app that already exists that does that for you. You just open up your phone and you go to Apple, the Google Play, Apple Store, wherever you get your apps from. You click download and voila, you're in. I did skip a teeny tiny step there. You usually have to agree to the fine print terms and conditions before you download and start using the app. But who's got the time to read all that? We'd probably be fine, right? Right? Well, in this year, Google Play generated $42.3 billion USD in revenue. 98% of that came from free apps. How? Well, Appel and fellow researchers published a paper in the International Journal of Research and Marketing, and they found two main ways you can monetize your app. First is you sell advertising space on a free version of the app, and second, you sell a paid version of the app. This could be like you have to actually buy the app, or there's transactions you can do on top of the app. In the first case, most of your revenue is generated from advertising, whereas in the second case, your revenue comes from app purchases. They also described a metric they called satiation, in which they described as the utility app decreasing with time. In other words, while people can stop using the app if they get bored or they don't find it useful over time. However, they use this metric to see if people can get interested in the app first. High satiation would actually exploit that or use that, and people can actually give you a default or like broken product or faulty product in a sense, in the sense like they can give you an app that's free but it has ads on purpose, even if you don't get paid by advertisers, just so you can get people hooked on your app, get them like addicted or start using your app, and then you can kind of guide them, push them towards your paid version of the app. So you have a kind of faultier version, a damaged good in a sense of the app with the ads, even if they get paid, like you're not getting paid by advertising for that, but you're using that to kind of lower the barrier of entry for users and using that to push people towards your paid version of the app. And they actually demonstrate you can actually generate revenue using this. And okay, the main ways that apps actually make money are in-app advertising, like we covered subscription, paid apps, sponsorships, affiliate income like advertising other apps or other businesses, selling merchandise, and crowdfunding. And advertising and affiliate marketing is by far the majority preference, with 7 out of 10 apps using them. If you really think about it, like these companies, they're not really charities, they're businesses, right? So they have to make money. And if it's not the app that's the product, you're the product, right? Like Richard Serra said in 1973, if something is free, you're the product. In this sense, it's your attention and time that's being transacted, where you're getting served these ads, where hopefully, or they hope that you spend money afterwards on some other products. Okay, moving on to Google. 80% of Alphabet, Google's parent company, the revenue in 2021 came from Google Ads. This amounted to over $147 billion. And how did they achieve this? They don't serve you random ads that have retention that were not really that effective. They give you targeted ads. And now Froelich describes these as product-based advertising. So you get ads based on your demographic, who you are, what you like, and what are you most likely to purchase. So based on these characteristics, you get like a profile built of you, and you served ads based on that profile. So you're kind of maximizing the chance of you actually purchasing those items and listening to the ads. And Google collects data about you whenever you use any of the devices, services, or apps. And this data can range from browsing behavior, a Gmail, YouTube activity, location history, Google searches, online purchases, and much, much more, right? And herein lies the crux of the problem, right? When does Google or any of the companies doing this, because all of them basically doing this, cross the line and invade your privacy, right? When do we draw the line here? And it seems like nowadays we kind of begrudgingly accepted that this is the case, this is the status quo, and everybody's doing it. But sometimes, a case comes in, it gets exposed, and they tend to take it a bit too far. So Google's actually getting sued right now, $5 billion lawsuit from users who said that Google's cookies, analytics, and tools in apps continue to track their internet browsing activity even after they activated incognito mode or the other similar features. And it was a big problem because privacy is being invaded here because they promise one thing, they're getting another. Google spokesperson, they defended themselves by saying that every time you do open an incognito browser, it tells you there that we can still might track your activity and cookies and whatnot. However, the court's not really having this because they're saying there's no explicit agreement from users for you to be able to track that data. And also another piece of damning evidence against Google is that the data they collect from normal searches and incognito searches are all meshed together, stored together to actually create that profile for you. So, they're kind of using this data not really as, they're describing. And also, YouTube's right now fighting a war against ad blockers, which is interesting. So they're really, getting a lot more strict about that. So YouTube ad block, and now YouTube's like ad block, and then we're probably gonna get ad block. So we'll see how this pans out. It'll be interesting. Maybe it actually change the landscape and like the business model that companies use. They may move away from ads altogether. We'll have to see how this pans out. And this is not to say that Google's the only one that gets in trouble for this sort of stuff. Microsoft recently got into hot water for their GitHub Copilot, which is basically an AI that's supposed to help you code and like auto-generate code for you. And the problem was they trained this AI on millions or billions of lines of open source code that was stored on GitHub or any other like platforms, and they didn't really care for the licenses, and they didn't really give any credit, like let alone monetary compensation, no credit, no acknowledgement of like they're using basically stealing code from other users, right? And also, a few users found that it actually, if you give some simple prompts, it sometimes just copy and paste code from another user without giving any credit. So it just gives you code from somebody else masked as like a generated prompt. And productivity apps like Notion, Obsidian are kind of facing similar criticism or concerns about their apps not actually being safe and used to train other AI models. So we'll see how this ends up being as well. And so what does this all mean for us? Well, if you're using a Google service in any capacity, there's a good chance Google knows more about you than you think. And they're using this ad information to deliver to you targeted ads. Can we prevent this from happening? Yes, very easily actually. You just have to stop using all Google services. But yeah, in reality, very difficult to do, impossible depending how your work/school operates. And if you do switch to a different provider, a different app, a lot of time you're just taking information from Google's hands, giving it to somebody else. This is why I never really understood VPNs as a privacy feature, because a lot of them is just redirecting traffic, right? So all you're doing is giving information to the VPN provider rather than your ISP. It's some kind of marketing genius here where like you see them everywhere on YouTube and ads. Similar to Raycons a couple years ago, it's like everybody's shilling these out, even though they're overpriced and not really good headphones. So a personal example for me that I kind of noticed recently is After 2 years of driving, I finally decided to connect my phone via Bluetooth to my car. And what I found is like now I get a little prompt on my watch every time I'm outside saying, oh, ETA to your house this way, this many minutes, traffic here. Pretty nice. But I also started doing that to the gym, which is the other location I go most frequently, right? So every time I go in, it's like, oh, gym here, like location and then traffic and whatnot. Which I guess it's convenient to an extent. I can use it to like kind of see which route I want to take. However, how else are they using this data? I don't know. As programmers, we do have a few more options under our tool belt. We could switch to open source projects. We know exactly what's happening under the hood, a lot more control, or we have the freedom and the capability of creating our own apps and tools that we can use, right? But even as an average user of these apps, you can get really far, protect a lot of your privacy just by, simply reading terms and conditions, at least the privacy portion of it, just to figure out what exactly is being tracked and, how it's being tracked. And you can also take, for a Google example, there's a great article by Neil on Wired about how you can toggle a few settings, take a few steps, and you can greatly decrease how much data Google's tracking about you. So there's stuff you can do to mitigate this kind of tracking. In conclusion, I mainly talked about Google today, but it's not the only company that does like this kind of free apps, and then you get your data kind of used to advertise. A lot of the software companies, a lot of the companies adopted this model. And this model is like not really evil by design, I don't think. It's just a business model that they agreed that, it's become a lot more popular over the years. And, there's good and bad about it. The bad being obviously that your data is being used a lot of time not very clear. You're not really sure how it's being used. And the good thing is it makes it a lot more convenient. You're getting a lot of the free apps, and you're getting those suggestions on your phone or food suggestions. So it's very convenient. But there's a price you're paying for that freedom and convenience. And this, I barely scratched the surface about this debate today. It's a lot deeper of a topic, and I'm not really advocating you like unplug from the matrix per se. It's just, just before you download your shiny new app, all I'm saying is, do a quick little skim of the terms and conditions, just to see what you're agreeing to when you download and use that app. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.